Hello everybody, AlwaysDizzy here. Close to 10 months ago, I made a YouTube video kind of celebrating the fact that I broke 2000 for the first time on lead chess. And the video also goes into detail on what I did to get to the 2100 mark. So 10 months later, I've been working hard on my chess improvement, and I managed to break 2100 on lead chess. So quite happy about that. That's another nice milestone. So this video is going to be similar to the other one, but it's going to focus more on the things that I've done differently, going from 2000 to 2100 specifically, as opposed to the whole build up to 2000. So I've got some notes here on the other monitor that I'm going to be referencing here, if I can find it. Okay, so just a quick background for those that don't know me, which is going to be most of you. So I'm an adult improver, and I returned to the game about 2 years ago. I used to play as a kid, a little bit, not all that much, but yeah, I basically started playing 2 years ago, and since then I've been basically playing and studying every day, trying to increase my rating. And yeah, so let me show you. So first of all, let me go here. So this is a screenshot I took up from my video. These are the stats from 10 months ago, when I hit the 2000 mark. And then this is the current stats. So I'll just do a quick comparison from the last 10 months here. So Bullet went from 1935 to 2039, so an increase of 104 points. Blitz went from 1969 to 2041, so 72 points there. Rapid went from 2002 to 2103. That's where I hit the 2100 on, so 101 points there. And Classical went from 1885 to 1949, plus 64 there. So I've had a pretty steady increase on all the time controls. Classical has been weird since COVID-19 started. I'm not sure exactly why. I actually think it might be more related to the fact that lead chess more recently switched from a default of 15 plus 15 time control over to 30 and 0. But you can see my graph in Classical, I actually got to 2082. And then once that change hit, both COVID-19 and the lead chess time control difference, you can see it's dwindled like dramatically. So I don't really know what's going on there, because my other time controls are doing well. But yeah, so that's a quick recap. My videos tend to be kind of long, and I tend to blabber on, so just note that. Okay, so first I just want to quickly say, I want to touch on what I've been doing the most during the past 10 months. So from the climb to 2000 to 2100. So the stuff that hasn't changed, I'm still focusing on the longer time controls. So I focus primarily on Rapid and Classical. The only reasons I tend to play any Bullet or Blitz are just to get the ratings up on them. And sometimes just to take a break from Rapid and Classical. But for improvement, I am focusing on the longer time controls. And then, of course, I'm still analyzing the games after, first without an engine and then with an engine. And aside from that, I'm still doing crazy opening study and repertoire building and honing and optimizing. So that's what hasn't changed. That's what I'm still doing, and it seems to help me quite a fair bit. Okay, so now the meat of this video. So here are the new things that I've done to go from 2000 to 2100. And this is just what I've done personally. Of course, everyone is different. So first of all, my notes here I have, so this is kind of interesting. So I made a few very, very slight modifications to my existing repertoire. So such as move orders. So if there's a position that I can, where I have an option of transposing into another tabia that I know, unless there's a much better move available, I'm pretty much always going to go with the transpositional move. Um, and so just because, why learn two different positions when I can force the transposition into a position that I'm already familiar with, right? So I kind of discovered a couple of very, well, I shouldn't say subtle, but I kind of discovered a couple of move order differences that I could make in some openings. This was in Sicilian, that I can actually give myself the opportunity of having the game transpose into a different position. Specifically, this was in the Sicilian and the Sozin Sicilian. There's a bunch of transpositions that I switched to, namely when I won't get too specific here, but basically when white goes like e4 and then knight f3 and plays an early bishop c4. But those are other transpositions. There's a lot of transpositions that can transpose into that bishop c4 Najdorf Lipnitsky Sozin. And so basically I just switched a couple of my repertoire moves to give myself a chance to transpose into this. And I kind of looked at it statistically, and there's a couple of different moves that my opponent could make, but pretty much in a lot of those positions, there's like a 25 to 50% chance that they will end up transposing. So anyways, I won't get into that too much, but that's a very subtle change I made. It didn't make a big difference to an increase in rating at all, if at all, but that's a little tweak that I did. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh yeah, and then I just wanted to go over the graphs a little bit. This doesn't quite have it to do with improvement, but just to show, so my rapid graph over time. So I started playing about 2 years ago at about 1400, 1500. And you can see that I had a really good start. Like I had an incredible incline, but then I kind of plateaued. Well, I had peaks and valleys, but I didn't really see much progress until when I hit 2000, which was last summer. And then I dipped down a little bit. And then at the beginning of this year, I started to really climb. I've had a steady improvement since then. Okay, I'm not sure why I had to show you that. Okay, so, and then the other big thing that I did going from 2000 to 2100 was, for the first time in my life, I hired a chess coach. He's an FM with 1 IM norm. So I actually haven't had many lessons from him recently, just because I'm broke and I can't afford it. But it was interesting because I was always interested in hiring a coach and seeing what that was like. And actually, for anyone interested, I actually recorded every single one of my sessions with the coach, and they're available on my YouTube channel. So yeah, feel free to subscribe. Yeah, but I've got a lot more queued up. Like I have like about 20 videos queued up. In fact, I'm probably going to be posting this video ahead of some of those other videos that are queued up. So it's going to be kind of weird because I'm going to announce that I've hit 2100, and then later on I'm going to have some videos saying new personal best, like 2080 or something. But I wanted to post this video. I didn't want to wait too long because I try to post a new video every 3 days. But anyways, yeah, all of those videos are up, and the full entirety of those sessions. So I probably have like 25 hours of my coaching sessions up there. So that was interesting. So what did I get from those lessons? Primarily, he helped me understand the ideas of some of the openings I play, specifically the ones that I'm less familiar with. kind of like, well, I'm not going to say which ones on on here, but yeah. So the openings that I struggle with or are less familiar with, he would go over with me and explain the ideas behind it and some kind of just some tips and techniques on how to play it. And my coach is a very positional type of player, so he like I what he would really focus on positional aspects of my play, such as when I create weak squares. So I am very hyper cognizant of creating like weak squares now and penalizing my opponent's weak squares. Um, and he my coach is a big proponent of looking at the classical games and for everything. And again, when looking at some of these openings, comparing them to the to classical games that have those openings. Um, and he goes over my tournament games. I mean, we kind of touch on a lot of different things. But I mean, obviously, I find a coach is helpful. It's just a matter of being able to afford it on a regular basis. Um, for those of you that think hiring a coach is just going to instantly give you free rating points, a coach definitely helps. Like, there's no question about that. There's no question that like hiring a chess coach is going to help you, but still, you have to do all the hard work yourself. It's not free points. A coach will help guide you and give you ideas, but you got to do all the hard work yourself. You're the one that's going to increase your own rating. So a coach isn't like an instant. It's not an instant thing that you can just utilize and to just get free rating points. But yeah, it's certainly helpful. There's no question about that. Next up, I have that. So I'm quite certain that my weakness, my biggest weakness by far, is calculation and visualization. So first of all, I hate calculating on the board, and I'm terrible at it. To be honest, I think my calculating ability is like at the level of like a 1500 or 1600 lead chess player. Like, it's really bad. Like, it's surprising, and it's surprising how far I got with my bad calculating. In fact, one thing that I hadn't really ever done is, I mean, you can see here on the screen, I've done a total of 2,700 puzzles, which isn't really that much, and that's in like my whole lifetime. So I haven't really done mini tactics. I know that like on Reddit, the chess subreddit, everyone says, "Oh, tactics, 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 so important." Well, I've done almost no tactics, and I got to 2,100. But that's probably why my calculation is so terrible. But I'm just really bad at calculating and visualizing. So that's actually something that I just started recently. I started last month. I started doing the Woodpecker Method, and I'm going to do a whole other video on that. But I'm doing a lot of tactics now. In fact, like half of my time is like doing tactics. But I've never done that before. Like, I've done a few puzzles here and there, but for the first time, I'm actually drilling tactics and doing a lot of that. So that's something that's more recent, and I don't think that didn't affect me getting to 2,100, but that's something that I'm doing now because I think that's one of my weakest points of play. Yeah, I'm just looking at that note. What was I going to say? I don't have this in notes, but I think I'll touch on it. I'm certainly weak in some specific openings. I won't name them on camera, but I'm really weak in some certain openings, and I hate playing them. I just don't enjoy them, and I find them very boring. But what I found the best way to combat that is to simply dive right into the deep end. Like, the more you know about an opening, the more you'll like it. So I think the reason why people, if you don't like a certain opening, it's probably because you don't really understand it and you don't really know it. So the only way to combat that is to just learn it. Like learn one more move each time you play it, deeper in, and you just have to face it head on. You can't avoid it, and just eventually you'll learn more about it, and you get more familiar with it. You understand more of the ideas behind it, and then you'll learn to love it. There's actually a few openings like that. There's a few openings that I used to hate. Like for example, one of the openings I used to hate playing was I used to hate the kind of a Grand Prix McDonald attack in the Sicilian. So E4, C5, F4. I used to hate that, but now I actually quite enjoy it because I've learned to love it. I've learned more about it. So that's a little tip that I think can help you. And then I'll just end this video by saying, so my new goal is to hit 2175. So first of all, I should say that I don't really set goals. Anyone that knows me knows that I celebrate every new personal best, even if it's by a single point. So if tomorrow I hit 2104, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to pause and enjoy it. And so as long as, because I compete against myself, and as long as I know that I'm improving, that's all I care about. So if let's say I drop 50 points tomorrow, it'll suck, but all I care about is that over time I'm improving. So I don't really care that my rating will drop, but I want eventually to set a new personal best. So that's what I care about the most. But that being said, my new goal, and basically when I'm going to make another one of these videos, is going to be when I hit 2175. Now I know it's kind of a weird number, like why not 2200? Well, I think as I'm getting higher, there's only so many milestones left, right? Like I can't, like if I do 2200, 2300, 2400, like there's only like 3 of those left, you know, or well, 3 or 4, you know, like how high you're going to go. And the other thing is, the higher you go, it's almost exponentially harder to increase your rating, right? So from going to 2100 to 2200, it's not the same as going from like 1200 to 1300. You know, it's much harder. So that's my next goal. It's 2175. And honestly, I think that this will take me between 2 years to never being able to hit it. I'm very honest, and I'm a realist. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I never hit 2175, just because it just gets so much harder from here to increase rating. But I'm certainly going to give it my hardest try to do so, to get to 2175. But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to take me 2 years to never. But that's what I'm going to try to achieve with 2175. I'm getting a lot older, and yeah, I'm no spring chicken. I'm an adult improver, so it's really hard to increase, but it would be pretty cool if I got there, because trying to give hope for other older players like me that are gotten back into the game, and kind of show that it's possible to improve. So yeah, that's kind of it. I won't make this video much longer, but that's kind of what I've done to get from 2000 to 2100. Just as a quick recap, so I hired a coach. I started doing tactics, but that's just more recently, like in the past month. I've made a few slight improvements to my repertoire, but just very subtle. Basically, adding in whenever I can transpose to a known position, I'll do that, and I'll change move orders and my repertoire to be able to do that. Otherwise, it's actually more of the same. I'm just playing longer time controls and analyzing my games. That's so, and just working on my openings. So I think like it's the recipe to success. Just play the longer time controls, analyze your games, and do so honestly without the engine and then with the engine, and you're going to improve. You're going to spot mistakes, and you're going to work on those mistakes. And I don't know. It's a known formula to work. So it's worked so far. Okay. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos, Please subscribe. First time I think I've ever said that. Maybe the second time ever. So allow me to do that once. Okay. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you at 2175 maybe.